श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान, जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान। जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, जय प्रभुपदा, जय प्रभुपदा, जय जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपदा। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Okay, Hare Krishna, short introduction of Mataji. So happy Ram Navami to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, this is the first thing which I have to ask again and again. So happy Ram Navami to all of you. And today, Mansi Mataji will be taking the session. She's not a guest speaker, she's a regular speaker for Chaitan Chaitamrit and other sessions as well. So for many of you, she's not new, but yes, for Bhagavatam, she takes uh, very seldom. So Mataji has agreed to take a session, and that too on something which we want to learn. Ramayana, we know it is a beautiful scripture, but we take it as a story, but then there are different lessons, hidden lessons, which Mataji would like to highlight today. So thank you so much, Mataji. We know that you got the intimation for this yesterday night only. So, but yes, we are fully confident that you are fully prepared. Thank you so much for agreeing to take this session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All thanks to you, Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity. And please, all the devotees, please bless me so that I'm able to say something which makes some sense. All that I'm saying is from what I've heard from my seniors. These are not my personal realizations, but I definitely want to imbibe these lessons in my life. So we can all pray together that we are able to improve on ourselves from after learning from this great scripture, Sri Ramayana. So, Ramayana, I'm sure all of you are familiar with the story. We are very fortunate that we have taken birth in this great land of Bharatvarsh, that from childhood we are introduced to these great teachings of Ramayana, Mahabharata. These are not new concepts for us. But yes, as Prabhu said, that there are many, many learnings from every character, from every person in the Ramayana. There are so many things that we can learn. It is difficult to cover all these things, and with my limited intelligence to cover everything. But at least if some of those lessons we are able to learn today, and we can try changing ourselves, bettering ourselves after learning those lessons, that is what I would like to make an effort on my part. Ramayana, as you all know, is this the great pastimes of Lord Ram, Mother Sita, and Lord Ram's associates. There are four Pramanic authorized Ramayana versions. One is Valmiki ji's Ramayana, and then Tulsidas ji's Ramcharitmanas. There is also Ramayana written by Srila Vyasdev and Kam Ramayana. So these are the four authorized Ramayana. Mainly, I'm sure we have heard of Valmiki ji's Ramayana and Ramcharitmanas, but the other two are also authorized, and those are the the basis for the learnings that we take. Now, the story of Ramayana, Lord Ram's pastimes, it starts with Ayodhya, then Mithila, then Lord Ram goes to exile, and then Kishkinda, Lanka. All these places are covered, and we'll go through these places one by one, and we'll stop and see what are the learnings at each juncture. And there are a few controversies associated with Ramayana, a few things that people generally misunderstand. So just two, three of those we'll try to cover today, because as sadhakas, first of all, we should be sure of the reason behind what is happening. Why is it happening? Everything that the Lord does has a very important reason, significant reason. Nothing is just happening by chance, or nothing is senseless. Everything has some very important and significant reasons. So we'll try to cover those things also in the end. So first of all, I'll just share the screen and start with the learnings. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. So first of all, let's see the place where Lord Ram chooses to appear. It is Ayodhya. Now, Ayodhya means a place where there is no yuddha. It's a place which is very peaceful, where there are no disagreements or problems amongst people. It's a very peaceful place compared to Lanka. The Vaibhav of Ayodhya, in that sense, in the materialistic sense, is lesser, because Lanka is made of gold. Ayodhya is not made of gold, but Ayodhya is more powerful because it is a place where people are living in harmony. It's a place where there are no fights, no wars as such. So this is a very peaceful and a very pure place, and Lord Ram chooses to appear there. Now, the character of Mother Kaushalya, Mother Sumitra really stands out, along with Dashrath Maharaj and Kaikeyi also. We'll talk about that too. But firstly, Mother Kaushalya, Lord Ram's mother. Mother Kaushalya was the first queen of Dashrath Maharaj. She was the oldest queen, but yet she was not the one who got most attention. She was always secondary, because Kaikeyi got more love and attention of Dashrath Maharaj, but yet Kaushalya ji never took it negatively. In fact, she took her life, she wanted to make her life very meaningful, and she had her own Gurukul where 10,000 children used to study. So she was really focusing her energies on something very positive, something very nice, nurturing a young mind, nurturing young children. So that is a learning for us too. There may be times in our life where we feel left out, where we feel we are not getting our due. But that does not mean that we go into a negativity mode, but rather we should try to nurture our lives, make our lives more meaningful by helping others, working for others, and also making ourselves, better. And Mother Sumitra, both of her sons, Lakshmanji and Shatrughanji, they were actually serving their elder brothers. They never got to be in the limelight, so to speak. And but Sumitra ji was very happy that her sons were in the serving mode. When Lakshman ji was following Lord Ram to the forest, Sumitra ji's only instruction was that you should always be alert. You should always be serving. You are a servant. You should never take it easy. You should always be in a very alert mode to serve your elder brother. And same Shatrughanji also. Whether, whatever was happening in Bharatji's life, no matter what people were saying about Bharatji, Shatrughanji was always dedicated towards his service. So that is a learning from Mother Sumitra. That service is so very important, and she's really teaching us through her own example. For a mother might actually sometimes become selfish and think about what is best for my child, but she knows what is really best for her children, and that is service. So Mother Kaushalya, Mother Sumitra are teaching these very important lessons. Maharaj Dashrath. Dashrath ji's name means one who has conquered the 10 directions. And that is Dashrath ji. And for us, the learning is that when we learn to conquer our senses, when we learn to conquer the senses, how they are trying to pull us in different directions, when we are trying to control them, the urges, when we can control them and be in a very peaceful state, when we win this war over our senses and our selfishness, that's when Lord Ram will come in our heart. So Dashrath ji is teaching us that, and obviously, his great love for Lord Ram. That is also a big lesson for us. Mother Keke. From Mother Keke, we learn what not to do, firstly. She lets mantra pollute her mind. She had so much love for Lord Ram, but from mantras, talks, and the way she changed her mind completely, that is something that we have to learn. That when we are given some advice, when we are hearing these different things from other people, we should use our intelligence, our vivek. We should pause for a moment and think that, am I doing something which is actually right? Is it something that is going to take me closer to my Lord, or is it something that is going to pull me away from Lord? That is something that should be our deciding factor for all decisions in life. So Mother Keke is teaching us that. Also, she is teaching us the hidden reason, the hidden learning rather, that she plays a very difficult role in Lord Ram's pastimes. And you must have heard this from other, acharyas also, that the Lord chooses someone very special to play a very difficult part in his pastimes, like Bhishma Dev, like Lord Shiva. When Lord Shiva comes as, for propagating the Mayavadi principles, and Bhishma Dev is actually taking the side of the Kauravas. Now, these are very difficult parts to play, but very important parts to play because the Lord's pastimes have to unfold. So, Mother Keke is actually taking this very difficult role. Whenever we talk about her, it's always very negatively. But we should always remember Acharya's teach that she is also a great devotee who is playing this very difficult role so that the Lord's pastimes unfold. The Lord had to go to the forest because his Leela had to progress that way. And so Mother Keke does that part. But she also teaches us what not to be. So, two types of learnings from Mother Keke. Next is the learning that we get from the names of the four brothers. Lord Ram's name means the reservoir of all pleasure. All pleasure actually rests in Lord Ram. So, in our life also, when we are troubled by this fire of material existence, the happiness will only come when we surrender to Lord Ram. And this is Srila Prabhupada's great mercy that he has taken the name of Lord Ram, the name of Lord Krishna all over the world, and he has established these beautiful temples. So, through the name of Lord Ram, through the name of Lord Krishna, and through these beautiful temples where we get the darshan of the beautiful deities, we feel that we are in the presence of the Lord, and that brings joy in our life. So, the Lord is very, very beautiful. The deities, the name of the Lord, everything is very, very beautiful. And all glories to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this opportunity to experience that joy in our lives also. Then we have what is the name, the meaning of the name of Bharatji. Bharatji means one who takes this great bhar. He's having this heavy load on his head. And what is that heavy load? That is the load of misunderstanding. Bharatji was always misunderstood. It was Kakeji's plan after hearing from Mantra to, ask for exile for Lord Ram and ask for kingdom for Bharatji. Bharatji never wanted that. He had so much love for Lord Ram. All he wanted to do was serve Lord Ram. But when this entire incident happened, everyone thought that, most of the people thought that Bharatji also had a part to play in that. So he had that big load of misunderstanding. And then when Lord Ram tells him that you look after the kingdom on my behalf, then that responsibility also, Bharatji took it. And he ran the kingdom very nicely. And he himself was not living in the palace. He was living outside Ayodhya as an ascetic himself, and he was not sleeping on the ground also because he was thinking that my Lord is sleeping on the ground. So he had dug up a ditch, something lower than the ground level, and that's where he was sleeping. And he was also eating kandamul fal. He was not living like a king, and yet he was fulfilling all the responsibilities. So that is what we learn from Bharatji. And Lakshmanji. Lakshmanji's name means Lakshmano Lakshmi Sampanna. He had great wealth. So, what was that great wealth? Lakshmanji never became the king. He was always serving, he was always after Lord Ram. But that great wealth was the wealth of service. That is something Lakshmanji never gave up. Whether it was following Lord Ram to the forest when Vishwamitra Muni had come, or in the 14 years of exile. Lakshmanji was always serving Lord Ram. So, this is what he is teaching us, that we should not run after getting happiness, but we should run after getting service. We all want to be happy. I'm sure everyone wants happiness. We all want joy. We all want peace in our life. But if we run after happiness, we never get happiness. But if we run after service and we serve with sincerity, that's when joy, happiness will automatically come in our heart. And that's what Lakshmanji is teaching us. Till the end of Lord Ram's Leela, he was constantly serving Lord Ram. He was also a prince. He didn't have to actually go to the forest with Lord Ram, but he did because he didn't want to give up the service. He said to Lord Ram that I have no life without you, my Lord. And so he was always serving Lord Ram. And then Shatrughanji. Shatrughanji's name means one who has conquered the enemy. But in his life, he had actually killed just one demon. So, what is that demon or that enemy that Shatrughanji had conquered? It was the demon of false ego. And that is something that we also have to learn. Shatrughanji didn't go into this egoistic mode that, oh, why should I serve another prince? I'm also a prince. And when Bharatji was misunderstood, he didn't leave Bharatji's side. For him, it didn't matter, what was going on externally. For him, his service was important. So he didn't get this, ego in his heart that, oh, Bharatji is being misunderstood. Then why should I go and serve him? I should just do something else or I should get the kingdom. No, there was no ego at all. So he had conquered this ego, false ego, and that is the learning for us also. So we are learning, from all these different characters in Ramayana. We are learning sacrifice, we are learning selfless service, and that is something that we can imbibe in our lives too. Also, when we talk about Ayodhya, the culture of Ayodhya, the Sanskriti of Ayodhya, Vashish ji is there. He is the teacher, the guru of all the four brothers, and he's also counseling Dashath ji also very nicely from time to time. So, Vashish ji and Vishwamitra ji, actually, they had some animosity from previous incidents. We'll not get into that because that's another long story, but they were not exactly on very friendly terms. There was some misunderstanding, some quarrel that had happened in the past, because of which they were not exactly friends. But when it came to furthering the pastimes of Lord Ram, assisting in the pastimes of Lord Ram, they forgot all that negativity, all that animosity, and they were very, in very good terms with each other. Because Vishwamitra ji comes and he takes Lord Ram to Mithila, and when the marriage is fixed, then Vashish ji also comes there. And Vishwamitra ji and Vashish ji are actually discussing that along with Lord Ram and Mother Sita's wedding, why not we get the marriage of the other brothers also fixed to the sisters of Mother Sita? And they are really rejoicing. They're very happy at this thought. And then they go and tell Janak Maharaj and Dashrath ji this great idea. So when it is a matter of service, they put aside everything else. And that is a learning for us too. When we are serving, we may not be on very cordial terms with everyone. We may not be very great friends with everyone that we have to serve, but the service should take priority. Our feelings, or things, the disagreements, everything should be left behind. Service should be given importance. So that is what we are learning from Vashish ji and Vishwamitra ji. Then, when Vishwamitra ji is taking Lord Ram to Mithila, and they are in that big assembly, in big sabha, that arena, where the bow of Shivji is kept, at that time, Lord Ram teaches us a very important lesson. He is very, very capable. He's the Lord of the universe. But when he's entering there and he's seeing that nobody else is able to even lift the bow, and he can easily do that. But he doesn't go and do that till he gets this instruction from Vishwamitra Muni. So a disciple always works under the instructions of his Guru Maharaj. Yes, we may have lot of abilities, lot of capabilities. We may think that, but the guru's instruction is the most important, and the guru's instruction actually empowers us. The guru's instruction, their blessings, that is what empowers us, and then we are able to render some service. That is what Lord is teaching us. He is the Lord. Everything, all abilities are coming from him, but he waits till Vishwamitra Muni says, Vatsaram Dhanush Pashyam. My dear son Ram, look at the Dhanush. And then, he understands the instruction of Vishwamitra Muni. Here is the learning which Srila Prabhupada taught us, that there are three classes of disciples. The first class disciple, he gets the instruction from the Guru and also understands the hidden instructions. So Lord Ram understands that when Vishwamitra Muni is saying Dhanush Pashya, look at the Dhanush, he actually means that go lift the bow, string the bow, do what is required to do. So that's what Lord Ram does. That is the first class disciple. Second class disciple, he will just do what the Guru has asked him to do. That's it, nothing more. And the third class disciple does not even do what the Guru asks him or her to do. So we have to learn that, we have to understand that what is the Guru actually desiring? What is the Guru's purpose? And when we get that instruction, we fulfill that instruction with all sincerity, using all our abilities. So those are the things that we are learning from Lord Ram when he's reaching Mithila. Then the exile, 14 years of exile. Lord Ram, he actually, when he finds out about this thing, he was about to be crowned as the king, right? But the situation changes upside down in one night. And from the throne, he actually has to go to the forest. But he does it with so much ease and so much happiness. He takes this up with very, very, lot of positivity that, oh, I'll get a chance to fulfill the promise of my father. I'll get a chance to be in the forest, meet all these great rishis and munis. And he's very, very happy to do that. And Dashrath didn't, explicitly say. In fact, Dashrath said that the whole kingdom will, be with you. You can revolt against this thing. You can become king. But Lord Ram does not want to do that. Wants to fulfill what his father had promised. And he does that with a lot of happiness. And Mother Sita and Lakshmanji, they didn't have to follow Lord Ram, but they felt that they have no life without Lord Ram. Mother Sita tells Lord Ram that with you, the forest is going to be like a palace, and without you the palace is like a forest. So I have, all my happiness is with you, my lord. And Lakshmanji is also, he could have just said, oh, really sad, what happened, brother? Okay, I can take after the kingdom, I can look after the kingdom. No, there is no second thought for Lakshmanji also. And both Mother Sita and Lakshmanji, they just follow Lord Ram. And when Bharatji comes and finds out what happens, he's completely devastated. There was no fault on his part, and yet all this had happened. People were misunderstanding him. He had to bear the pain of his father's passing away. His brother has gone to the forest. So he's in such a sad state, and he immediately goes to the forest to get Lord Ram back. But when Lord Ram gives him the instruction that I cannot come now, but I accept the kingdom, but you rule the kingdom on my behalf. So he just gets the chappal, the khadao of Lord Ram, and that he puts on the throne. And he just serves for 14 years as a menial servant. He's looking after the kingdom just as a service. So all these things we are learning from all the associates of Lord Ram, and this teaches us the Sanskriti, the culture of Ayodhya. Next, when Lord Ram goes to exile, he goes to many different places, and finally, towards the end of his exile, he is in Panchvati, and that's when Mother Sita is kidnapped. Raman comes, and here also we are learning the Sanskriti of Ayodhya. Mother Sita, she knows that, okay, if a Rishi has come, I have to honor the Rishi, I have to give them something. So she is still following the Sanskriti of Ayodhya. But Ravan is doing something very, very different, which we'll talk about when we come to Lanka. But for now, after Mother Sita gets kidnapped, Lord Ram and Lakshmanji are looking after her everywhere. And then they meet Shabriji. All these beautiful pastimes take place, and they meet Hanumanji. See, for Lord Ram and Mother Sita, it was just, they just had to desire that Ravan should be dead, and Ravan would be dead, because as Paramatma, Ramji is seated in everyone's heart. And Sita ji is Lord Ram's energy. Here, nobody can actually touch her without her, without her desire. So Ravan he would be burned to flames, or burned to ashes if he had just tried to kidnap Mother Sita. But it was actually Chaya Sita that was kidnapped. So that again is the pastime of Lord Ram and Mother Sita, so that all these beautiful things actually happen. Lord Ram's meeting Shabriji, meeting Hanumanji, then the Vanar Sena, crossing of the ocean, then the war in Lanka, all these wonderful things that we now read about, hear about, and get purified. So there is a reason why the Lord does all these things. And then when Lord Ram reaches Kishkinda, that's where he meets Sugriv ji, and they have this treaty, they have this pact that Lord Ram is going to help Sugriv ji get his kingdom back, win over Bali, and in turn, Sugriv ji is going to help Lord Ram find Mother Sita. So that entire pact takes place. But you all know, right, that when the first day Sugriv ji goes and he challenges Vali to come and fight with him, does he win on the very first day? Does he? Is he able to defeat Vali on the very first day? Yes? No. No, right?
Mataji.
The No, yeah, the first day he gets defeated, right? And he comes back. And then what does Lord Ram tell him? Why I didn't kill Vali today? What does he say? He says that both you brothers look alike. You look so alike that I was not able to make out who is Sugriv, who is Vali. But that is just the external reason. The internal reason that the acharyas explain is that when Lord Ram and Lakshman ji come to meet Sugriv ji offers a seat only to Lord Ram, and Lakshman ji is just standing. Now, Lakshman ji represents Guru Tattva. He is Guru. The Lord will never be happy with the sadhaka if the sadhaka is just worshipping the Lord and ignoring the Guru. This is the learning that we cannot directly approach the Lord. We have to give all respect and love and honor to our Guru, and through our Guru's mercy, we get love for Krishna, love for Lord Ram. So Hanumanji actually gave a seat to Lakshmanji. Sugrivji did not. So this was the punishment that Sugrivji had to undergo to get that purification for that mistake he had done of ignoring Lakshmanji. So Lord Ram lets him get the punishment for one day. And then what does he say? He says, Lakshman, put a garland around Sugriv so that I can make out, who is Sugriv and who's Vali. And through this simple act of getting the garland, what is the Lord doing? He is getting the mercy of Guru for Vali. So for us also, mercy of Guru is so important. Just like Sugriv and Vali looked similar, you know, all the souls are also similar looking, right? All are Satchitanand. But which soul will stand out? That soul which has mercy of Guru. So if we want to be seen by the Lord, we have to get the mercy of Sri Guru. That is what we are learning from this punishment of Sugriv ji. Then after Lord Ram defeats Vali, Sugriv ji gets the kingdom. In the 4 months of the rainy season, Sugriv ji forgets about his promise, right? He gets into the enjoyment mode, and he forgets about his promise to Lord Ram after the 4 months are over also. And then Lord Ram sends Lakshman ji. When Lakshmanji goes, Lakshmanji is very angry. Again, when we make a mistake, the Guru corrects us. So Lakshmanji is going to correct Sugrivji. And here Hanumanji teaches a very important lesson to Sugrivji, that you have made a mistake. When Lakshmanji comes, don't give reasons, don't give excuses, and don't start arguing. Accept your mistake and beg for forgiveness. That is the best thing for you to do. That is something for us also. When we make a mistake, it takes a lot of courage, but we should accept that mistake, beg for forgiveness. That is the best thing to do. So that is what we are learning from Sugrivji's example and Hanumanji's teachings to Sugrivji. Then the next positive thing that we learn from Sugrivji is that when he was running away from Vali to save his life, he was running all over the planet because Vali could follow him everywhere. It was only this Rishimukh Parvat where Vali could not come. But before that, he was running everywhere. So then what does Sugrivji do? He has visited all these places, right? So when it comes, it comes to the time when he has to send his monkey soldiers to find Mother Sita. He is using that learning, all the different directions he knew very well. So he's giving the directions to his monkey soldiers accordingly. So everything that we have, all abilities that we have to use all those things in the service of the Lord. So from Kishkinda, we are learning about Prakriti, our nature. We all have an inherent, a basic nature, which sometimes comes in the way of our seva, right? So Ji had a basic nature. It's a nature of a monkey is to enjoy. That is the part he was playing. So he had that nature. So he was in that enjoyment mode. He got into that enjoyment mode, and that is the mistake he made. But we have to get over our prakriti. We have to get over our nature. We have to leave aside all those different bad habits that we might have had and take up the good habits that we need in the service of the Lord. Now, there are so many things, many of us don't like to work under any authority. We want to do what we like to do. Many of us have a problem following instructions of superiors. Many of us have this problem of waking up early in the morning and chanting. Some may have problems in sitting down, concentrating on the mantra, or sitting down, concentrating on reading, right? There are so many things because for n number of lifetimes we have lived according to our this nature. It gets imbibed in us. It gets completely, it gets completely within our heart and within our personality. It gets imbibed so deeply. But when we come on this path of bhakti, we have to understand this is a great opportunity that we have. And then we have to try and give up that nature, give up that prakriti that we had. Take up those habits that will help us get closer to the Lord and give up those habits that are going to take us away from the Lord. So our tendencies, our swabhava, our basic inherent nature, if it is taking us away from the Lord, then we have to try and change that nature. If it is something, say for example, some devotees are very naturally, humble and very sweet natured, very humble in in general. Even before coming to Krishna consciousness, they had this humility in them. So that is very nice. They should just continue that and use it in the service. We may have some educational qualifications, there may be some good characteristics that we have. We should try to use that in the service of the Lord. Everything actually can be used in the seva of the Lord. Now we are seeing this technology that is also being put to such good use for serving the Lord, because we can reach far and wide and touch the hearts of so many devotees. So through these things, we are learning that everything should be used in the service of the Lord, and whatever negativities that we have and which are stopping our progress on the path of bhakti, we have to very consciously work on them, take guidance from seniors, and try to get over all those negativities. So in Kishkinda, we are learning about the Prakriti. And then when we go to Lanka, in Lanka, we are learning about the Vikriti. We hear about the Vikriti, the distorted nature of the residents of Lanka. In Lanka, we see something which is completely opposite of what we see in Ayodhya. In Lanka, we see completely everyone is selfish. Everyone wants to do things which will give them pleasure. There is lack of gratitude, there is lack of feeling anything for the other person. The most important priority for everyone is my enjoyment. If it means giving problems to someone else, that is okay. If something comes in the path of my enjoyment, then I have to just move that thing out of my life. Even if it is giving pain to someone else, does not matter. That is what is happening in Lanka. Even though there is so much vaibhav and so much opulence in Lanka, still the hearts are very small. We see this firstly from the example of Shurpanakha. Shurpanakha wanted to enjoy, right? She wanted Lord Ram because she found him very good looking and handsome. So she was thinking of her enjoyment. So she changes this form and comes before the Lord. And then when the Lord refuses, she gets very angry and she tries to harm Mother Sita. And that's when her nose gets cut. Now, this humiliation, she wants to get revenge for that. It is her fault completely, but still, she's not seeing her fault, but she's seeing that something came in the way of my enjoyment. And then she was humiliated and insulted. She felt insulted, and that's when she goes and approaches Ravan, and she creates this big propaganda, right? It's one incident, but she makes it so big. And she makes Ravan feel that Sita is so beautiful that Ravan should have her for, his enjoyment. She should not be in the forest, but she should be in Lanka where Ravan should get to enjoy her. She's doing all these, inciting all these, igniting this fire in Ravan's heart because she wants revenge for her humiliation. And Ravan, again, through Ravan's character, Ravan had 18 curses. He had been cursed 18 times. And it is mentioned that all the tears, it was mentioned to him that all the tears that have been shed because of your activities, you are ultimately going to drown in those tears. So he had given pain to so many different people. He had given suffering to so many different people that he had so many different curses. Now, when Shurpanakha goes and tells Ravan that Sita is there and there are two ascetics that are there in the forest, and you should actually go and get Sita for your personal enjoyment, Ravan takes that up because he's also thinking of his personal enjoyment. And he takes a different form. He takes help from Marichi and sends that golden deer. We know that story. And then Mother Sita is kidnapped by Ravan, brought to Lanka, and all this entire story unfolds. But in this entire thing that Shurpanakha had created, we learn about the propaganda that we see now in the Kali Yuga also. And through social media, it has actually become more prevalent. Right? One small thing that is not very significant, also, that may actually mean something else, small short clippings of some lecture that a devotee has given. So many things are taken out of context and blown out of proportion. So we have to be very, very careful that when someone is telling us something, we have to use our intelligence and see whether it is true or not. Now, by Prabhupada's mercy, we are in this movement, but you will hear so many different things being said by different people of other, whether they are from media or from other organizations or from society in general. They may be very influential people and they may be using a lot of good language, flowery words and everything. But we have to understand, is this true or is it just a propaganda that is being created? So this intelligence we should try to cultivate to understand what is right and what is wrong. Whether what is being told to me, what is being fed to me by the media or through any WhatsApp message, is it true or is it false? Like something I'm sure many of you might have read is this message which was very famous a few years ago that if I had to have a brother, I would prefer to have a brother like Ravan, not like Ram, because Ram gave up his wife, but Ravan he did so much to avenge Shurpanakha's, whatever wrong was done to Shurpanakha. So he was such a wonderful brother. All these things are being said. Now, if we read Ramayana, actually, Ravan had killed Shurpanakha's husband earlier. And what he was doing was not out of love for his sister, this kidnapping of Mother Sita in this entire incident. It was for his personal enjoyment. So when we read such a message on the face of it, it appears that, yeah, it makes sense now. But that's when we have to go to the scriptures. Anything that is being told to us, we should know, and first of all try to find out, is it authorized? Is it coming from an authorized source? Is it true? And then we should take guidance from scriptures and guidance from our superiors and then believe something, not just blindly taking something on the face of it. Okay. So that's something we are learning from Lanka, this Vikriti of Lanka, that everyone is just thinking about their own enjoyment and Shupnakha's propaganda also. But in this entire scene of Lanka, through this entire negativity, there is one person who is still aloof from all the negativity, and that is Vibhishanji. Vibhishanji, he maintained his bhakti. He continued on the path of bhakti even though he was in a very difficult situation. He was living in a very difficult state. Now, we may think in our life that, oh, I don't have support in my home. My family is not supporting me in my Krishna consciousness. I have a lot of struggle. But our struggle is very little compared to the struggle of Vibhishanji, right? He was in Lanka where nobody was a devotee. So he is teaching us that we have to bloom wherever we are planted. In whatever situation we are in, we have to do our sadhana to the best of our ability. Yes, situations may be difficult, our family condition may be difficult, may not be conducive to cultivation of bhakti, but yet we have to be true to our purpose. We have to be sincere in our heart. And then what happens? Then the Lord comes. Ramji came, right? But that time also, Vibhishanji he was not selfish like the others in Lanka because he's a devotee. Vibhishanji does not leave Ravan immediately and just go to Lord Ram. When he knows that Lord Ram has come to the shore, he's still trying to give good sense to his brother, good counsel to his brother that you still have time. Just return Mother Sita, ask for forgiveness. Your whole family will be saved from destruction. He tried his best, but it was all of no use because Ravan was thinking selfishly. And then Ravan throws him out of the kingdom and then he goes to Lord Ram. And his mood there also is like, it's a very simple, saral mood that my Lord, I have no other place to go. If you don't accept me, I'm still going to be here only. That is the saralta, the simplicity that the Lord likes. That is another learning for us that we should have this complete dependence on the Lord. Whether I am good or bad, I belong to you. I have no other shelter. I have no other place to go, my Lord. This is where I am going to be. Your lotus feet are my only shelter. And it is this simplicity which attracts the heart of the Lord. And that's when the Lord accepts the devotee. So Vibhishanji's dedication, his love, his love for Lord Ram teaches us this very important lesson. Now, we have heard about Ayodhya's Sanskriti, then Kishkinda's Prakriti, and Lanka's Vikriti. But in our life, whether we are from any background, whether it is a background of Sanskriti or Prakriti or Vikriti, no matter what our background is, if one comes and surrenders to the Lord will definitely take care of the devotee. That is his greatness. See, Lord Ram used to say that if when he was there and the whole scene was set for the war to start, he said that even now, if Ravan comes and surrenders to me, I'm going to forgive him. In that condition, also, the Lord is willing to forgive. He is so merciful. There have been millions of lifetimes where we have made so many mistakes. Even in this life, there are so many mistakes that happen, some knowingly and some unknowingly. But as Paramatma, the Lord has never left our side. Now, whether we have taken birth as a worm or any other species or now human form, the Lord is so merciful that as Paramatma, He always stays with the soul. You must have heard that beautiful example from Shvetashvatara Upanishad of the two birds. So one bird is busy, the soul is busy going from one branch to another, tasting this fruit and that fruit. But the other bird is just waiting for this first bird to look towards him. And wherever this first bird goes, the other bird also follows. That is the supreme mercy of the Lord. He is so forgiving, he is so merciful that he has been with us, he has accompanied us through all the various lifetimes we have taken. So this should fill our heart with so much gratitude and love and positivity. And we should have this desire to overcome all the problems that we have, to overcome all the negativity or all the mistakes and all the different sins that we have committed. That should be a desire that now let's not commit those same sins. Let's not commit those same mistakes again. Because the Lord is giving us so much mercy, so much love. We should try to now give love and service to the Lord. That is all He asks for. Through our daily sadhana, whether it is chanting or offering arti or offering bhoga, reading the scriptures in devotee association. What is the ultimate purpose? What has Prabhupada tried to teach us? Why has he given us the morning program or his books or chanting? Because he wants us to dedicate our lives to the service of Krishna. He wants us to pull our senses away from the different sense objects and engage everything in service. And through all these things, we should try to show some love to Lord Krishna. Obviously, the love that the Lord gives us is boundless. There is no limit to that. But we should try to reciprocate in some little way. The Lord gets happy with even offering of a little water, a leaf, a fruit, right? That's his promise in Bhagavad Gita. So that should be our effort. That whatever is my ability in whatever state of life I am, let me try and render some service to the Lord. Because whether we are coming from any kind of background, that does not matter. Prabhupada has shown that, right? Whether it is the Westerners or Indians or anybody from any part of the world, he took everything, everyone in his loving shelter and care because the Lord is equal to all. So whether we are coming from Sanskriti, Vikriti, or Prakriti, we just have to sincerely surrender to the Lord. That is what is needed. So those are some lessons that we learn from this beautiful pastime of Lord Ram and all the different devotees and other characters involved in this pastimes. Some points regarding the controversies or the questions or the misunderstandings about Ramayana that come up. Just we'll spend a few minutes discussing that. First is the slaying or the killing of Bali or Vali. Now, many people raise this question that why did Lord Ram have to hide behind a bush and kill Vali? Why didn't he challenge him openly that come and fight with me and then defeat him? Vali also put up this question that Ram, why did you hide and kill me? You should have just challenged me and we could have had our fight and then you should have, kill me. But there are many reasons why Lord Ram did that. First of all, Vali was in the form of a monkey and a Kshatriya, that Lord Ram is a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is allowed to kill an animal, while hunting. They are allowed to hide and kill an animal. That is allowed. And Vali was an Atatai, right? He had thrown away his brother. He had taken the wife of his brother. The younger brother's wife is actually to be considered like a daughter, but he was enjoying her also. So he was an Atatai, and an Atatai can be killed in any way, as per Dharma Shastra. An Atatai can be killed in any way. And at that time, Raghuvansh, Surya Vansh was ruling over the entire place. And Lord Ram, even though he was in exile, he was still a Kshatriya, he was still a Raghuvanshi. So it was his duty also to kill an Atatai, to kill someone who is causing pain to someone else in whatever way required. So that is what Lord Ram had done. And Vali told Lord Ram that why didn't you just directly come to me to take my help to find your wife? I could have helped you. But Vali was someone who had himself kidnapped someone's wife, right? Sugriva's wife. So how could Lord Ram go and take help from someone who had made the same mistake? How could he set that example? Totally not possible, right? So that's why he did not take that way. And a very, very important reason also is that Vali had a boon by Indra that whenever he is in a fight, in a war with someone, the opponent's half energy, ability will come in Vali's body, right? So if he's in a war with someone else, the opponent's 50% of the opponent's energy and ability will come in Vali's body. Now, Lord Ram's energy, his ability, his strength is unlimited, right? So, what is half of unlimited? That is also unlimited. So, how could Vali's body take in unlimited strength? It was not possible, right? And then Indra's boon would not be, would not hold true. And we see that Lord always takes care that whether it is Brahmaji giving a boon to Hiranyakashipu or otherwise also, he always tries to take care that the boon that his devotees have given are honored. So Indra's boon had to be honored, and that's why he had to hide and then kill Vali like that. So slaying of Vali also is explained in through these different reasons. Next is Agni Pariksha, very often misunderstood and very often misquoted, that Sita was completely innocent. Why did she have to go through Agni Pariksha? So this first of all takes us to to the actual reason, whether it was actually Sita ji that was kidnapped or it was someone else. So it was not real Sita, right? It was actually a Chaya Sita that was kidnapped by Ravan, because as I mentioned earlier, Sita ji is the energy of Lord Ram. If Raman just wanted to touch her also, he would be burned to ashes. So before Ravan comes, Lord Ram and Mother Sita, they have this discussion that, okay, now we have to enact this pastime. And that time, Mother Sita, she goes she goes to Agni Dev. Agni Dev is actually serving Mother Sita for this time. And a Chaya Sita comes and Chaya Sita is actually kidnapped. So this Agni Pariksha was one way to get the real Mother Sita back from Agni Dev. Agni Dev is serving Mother Sita. How could Agni burn Mother Sita, right? When Hanuman ji comes and to Lanka and Sita ji finds out that Ravan has set fire to Hanuman ji's tail, Mother Sita orders Agni Dev that nothing should happen to my son Hanuman. Right? So, how could Agni even touch Mother Sita? There is no way that is possible. It was just to get the real Sita Ma back from Agni Dev. Agni Dev was actually her servant, her student. Agni Dev could never harm Mother Sita. And this is also done to glorify Mother Sita. Even till now, right? People may say anything, but Mother Sita is always glorified, right? That she was so pure, she was so, she was such a wonderful wife. She was so devoted to her husband. So this is the desire of Ramji. He has fought this great battle. He has gone through so much difficulty to find where Mother Sita is, to get her back. And after getting her back, is he actually going to mistrust her or doubt her purity? No. He just wants Mother Sita glorified. So he did not for even one moment doubt Mother Sita's chastity. It was just to glorify her and to get the real Mother Sita back from Agni Dev. So that is the reason for Agni Pariksha. And the last thing is the banishment of Mother Sita, Mother Sita being sent to the forest. People say that, oh, why did he have to just hear from someone and then send his wife away? And she was in such a state in her life where she was expecting also. How could he banish Mother Sita to the forest? Now, first of all, we have to understand that Mother Sita was completely in agreement for this banishment. It is not that she was just sent out of the palace one day and she didn't know what is going on and she's heartbroken about it and all that. No, Mother Sita was in agreement for this pastime to take place. Why? Because a leader has to make many difficult decisions, many sacrifices in their life to set the right example. Now, that incident could have been misunderstood by people, and people could have taken wrong advantage of that. And so, Lord Ram, as a leader, had to do this very difficult thing, but he had to set the right example. Then Mother Sita and Lord Ram described that they had always desired to bring up their children in a very wonderful ashram environment. And that's what Love and Kush get, right? They are in Valmiki ji's ashram. That's where Mother Sita is. And she's able to bring up her children in that ashram environment with the good counsel of all the rishis present there. And Valmikiji's ashram, it was not outside of Ayodhya's jurisdiction. It was still within the kingdom. So it's not like Lord Ram just sent her away somewhere, and where she's totally lost or there's no one to look after her. It was not like that. It was still within the kingdom of Ayodhya, and she was looked after very well in that ashram. And her presence in the ashram gave so much blessing to Valmiki ji that he was able to write Ramayana. And he later teaches it to Love Kush, and they go and recite it to Lord Ram also. So it was this presence of Mother Sita brought this auspiciousness and this strength, in Valmiki ji's ashram. And he gets empowered to write this great scripture, which is benefiting everyone, right? And after Mother Sita went to the forest, it is mentioned that Lord Ram did not smile even once. He was so in that virah bhav that he did not smile even once. So, and he had the opportunity to marry again, but he had taken this ek patni vrat, and he was so dedicated to Mother Sita that, okay, he had to take this decision for which a leader has to take. But as a husband, he was still completely dedicated to Mother Sita. He did not marry again, and he did not smile even once. So this virah is what Mother Sita and Lord Ram experienced to set the right standards. Also, another reason is that there was one Rakshas who had been given a boon by Brahmaji. He wanted immortality. Brahmaji said, I cannot give you immortality. So he said, okay, as long as Shakti and Shaktiman are together, nobody should be able to kill me. And so, if Lord Ram and Mother Sita did not separate, then Shakti and Shaktiman would not separate, and then this demon would keep on living. But this pastime also takes care of this angle that when Lord Ram and Mother Sita separated, this demon could also be killed. So, whenever we see any pastime of the Lord, anything that happens which we are not able to understand on the face of it, we should approach scriptures, we should try to approach our seniors and other devotees and try to understand. Because anything that the Lord does, there are always many reasons behind that. Now, whether it was the killing of Vali or Mother Sita's Agni Pariksha or her going to the forest, there are so many different things that the Lord is taking care of in one particular pastime itself. Even when it was time for the yagya to be performed, Lord Ram just got a beautiful golden statue deity of Mother Sita built, and he performed the yagya with that. So how can anyone go and misunderstand Lord Ram? That how could he do this to his wife? He actually underwent so much of virah himself. But to set the right standard, to set the right example, he did that. Mother Sita also did that. They took up this very great responsibility, and they took up this great pain on themselves so that people in general for ages to come never never do something which is wrong. See, even with all these wonderful examples which we have in our scriptures, people still do so many mistakes, so many wrong things. So the Lord, as the supreme loving Father, and Mother Sita as a supreme loving mother, they never want to do anything which the children can misunderstand and then harm themselves. So they are taking care of so many different things when they are performing this one pastime of Mother Sita going to the forest. So through all these different learnings, or through all these different pastimes of the Lord, we have seen how each pastime is so much saturated with learning for us, how all the different characters are playing their part so that this beautiful pastime of Lord Ram becomes so rich. There is so much learning for us, there is so much of gratitude that we should feel for our acharyas who have given us these great scriptures, and especially to Srila Prabhupada, that it is because of him that we understand the importance of scriptures, that we understand the importance of these great days which are coming. I mean, okay, Ram Navami would come, yeah, people celebrate in different ways in this beautiful country of ours. But to understand the importance of this day, this is the day the Lord appeared, and the Lord has given us so much in our lives, so much to learn from, so much to make ourselves better. And finally, He has given us this chance whereby we can get over all these problems and sufferings that we are facing and finally go back to His abode. Hearing these pastimes purifies us, right? It gives us so much joy, and it makes us easy. It makes it easy for us to remember the Lord. right? Through when we are narrating Ramayana to someone, to a child or to another person, we are thinking of all these different incidents that has happened, breaking of the bow, the marriage of Lord Ram and Mother Sita, the exile, then meeting with Hanuman ji, Shabri ji, bringing Mother Sita back, and then the Lord on the throne. All these things, when we are reading it like a story, it becomes easy to meditate on the form of the Lord, on the pastimes of the Lord. And this is the great mercy that our acharyas have on us. So we should try to take very good advantage of this opportunity. First of all, understanding the importance of every day which is coming, whether it is Ram Navami or Gaur Purnima or Sita Navami or Janmashtami, Balram Jayanti. Prabhupada has filled our lives with so much celebration, right? For devotees, there is so much to celebrate. Festivals keep coming. We are so fortunate. And actually, if we see, every day is a festival because every day we are worshipping the Lord, every day we are offering bhoga. So we are so fortunate. We just have to understand how fortunate we are and try to take more and more advantage of hearing from these scriptures and learning from them and making our life better so that we become more and more pure, and then we stand out. When the Lord is looking at all the Atmas, then we stand out by getting our Shiguru's mercy. We stand out and then be accepted by the Lord. So all we have to do is show that sincerity from our side. And I'm praying to all of you that you bless me, that I also get some sincerity and some seriousness in following this path that Srila Prabhupada has given us. So, this was my small, humble attempt to take you through some of the things that I have heard from my seniors. And thank you so much, Ashish Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity. If there are any questions or any disagreements or any comments, then please let me know
Hare
on
Krishna
either.
Mataji, it was a wonderful class. So many things that we already knew the story, but what were the lessons for us is so nicely you have explained, Mataji. It will stay with us now forever. Thank you so much. Mataji, you are on mute. Mataji, we will have a few questions with raised hands. We will just ask devotees to ask questions. Medhavini Mataji, you can ask your
One
question.
second, one second. Small announcement. Sorry for everyone. For question session, question timing is 30 seconds. So in 30 seconds, whatever you can ask, please ask. Okay, for Medhavini Mataji, it is 1 minute. For others, it is 30 seconds. So please do that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for recognizing my disability and giving me some extra time. Generally students in the class, failing student, उसको 30 मिनट ज़्यादा देते हैं. At you try to pass like that. Thank you, Prabhu. Grateful to you. Hare Krishna, Mansi Mataji, Dandat pranams to you. Very, very wonderful session. Straight from your heart to my heart, at least. I don't know about the others, but very, very wonderful. Very, very wonderful. And I love that what you mentioned. Sugriva did not offer asan to Lakshman, and he did not do it purposely, right? He did not strike him. He just offered an asan to Lord Ram, and the Lord Ram did not see. And you very beautifully mentioned, if you have to be seen by the Lord, then we need to have the mercy of the Guru, right? So in most, my query in this regard, Mataji, sometimes it's easy to offer respects to the guru, right? Of course, since the Lord is not coming to our home, and the maximum what we can expect is our diksha guru and siksha gurus who come. It's very easy to offer respect to our diksha guru and siksha gurus, but oftentimes I realize that I at least miss out, like Sugriva missed out. It's not that he didn't want to respect Lakshmanji, but it gets missed out. So I also, when I was just contemplating when you were giving this lecture, sometimes I also miss out giving respect to devotees also. And sometimes we have this I'm a devotee, that seeps in our mind, and then we don't give respect to people. We, like His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, we should value human beings. We should first become a human being, then we become a devotee. All that was running through my mind as I was hearing you. And everything is there, the knowledge is there in the head, there's no dearth for knowledge, everything is very, very wonderful. But to put it in practice, sometimes it's sheer carelessness, sometimes it's laziness, sometimes it is, I don't know why, but I always end up most of the times not respecting people, not giving the people that much warmth that is required. and that softness of the heart does not develop. So
Yes.
can you give me, Mataji, some tips how to build relationship, how to respect, and how not to make a laziness or anything come in the way of something so sublime that we can experience, and small things, dirty things like these anarthas prevent us from experiencing that. Can you just share something? Hare Krishna. Dhanutpranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, that is a struggle for me too, because as you said, we don't intentionally do it many times, but it just happens. So that is why this constant hearing is required, Mataji. Like, as you said, what Srila Radhanath Maharaj tells us that we have to, and Prabhupada also said, na, that a devotee is first class person, first class gentleman or a lady, and then, devotion is definitely there. So what my experience is, Mataji, this will only come by practice. We will make mistakes. There will be times when we miss out, but we have to see our activities from a bird's eye view. That okay, what I did today, was it actually right? Does it sync with what my seniors have taught me? If not, then the next time we correct ourselves. And through this constant making mistakes, correction, making mistake correction, someday it will happen that it will come in our personality. And also praying to the Lord that, my Lord, please help me so that I'm able to get over this tendency to take everything for granted. Basically, it is happening because we are taking everything for granted. We have to understand that as devotees, meeting a devotee is a very rare thing. Devotees are very few. We are minority, if you see. In that we get a chance for a devotee to come to my house, it is a very rare opportunity. So if something like this happens, we have to first of all prepare ourselves and tell ourselves that okay, now I'm going to meet a devotee. This person is very rare, so I have to be very careful and very conscious. So I think, Mataji, it will only come by practice and by the Lord's mercy. That is what I can add. Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
We
Krishna.
seek your blessings, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Lord, please bless me, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Padma Mataji, you can ask your question, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, wonderful
Hare
class.
Krishna.
Anyway,
Hare Krishna.
I won't waste time glorifying you, but I just want to, I have only half a minute, so I have to be fast.
Yes,
Mataji, was
Mataji.
it necessary for Agni Pariksha? Because Ram trusted us so much. Whom should I try to convince? Because these questions keep coming. So I should have a relevant answer to reply these people, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. So there we have to just say that Lord Ram did not doubt her chastity. If he doubted her chastity, then would he actually have spent